I'm your host, Tiffany Chung, your go-to for all things marketing, mindset, and manifestation. I grew my online business from 0 to beyond 6 figures in 8 months. My purpose is to empower women to step into the highest, most aligned versions of themselves. If you are ready to take charge of your life, learn how to design a wildly successful business, and leave limiting beliefs behind, you've come to the right place. You will learn the actionable tips and step-by-step strategies on money, manifestation, and social media. It's time to step into your role as boss, to raise your vibration and tap into your unlimited potential today. Welcome to the Social Reset Podcast. We're going to be talking about sticking to what works in order to make 6 figures in your business. So the reason that this is really important is because a lot of my clients will come to me, and the main thing that they're saying is, I'm not getting this result. This isn't working, right? Or I've tried this and this and this. When we first start working together, they're like, I've tried it all, right? I need something that's going to work specifically for me. And it can be for a myriad of reasons. But what I find a lot of the time is that we don't stick to something quite long enough in order to actually evaluate those specific results, right? So I'll ask someone, okay, what did you try and how long or how many times did you try it? And they'll tell me, okay, well, I shared this link and I shared it twice within the last week and nobody has signed up, so it's clearly not working. And the reason why we think that that's not working is because our brains are essentially wired to create these fast results. We want things to happen very quickly, right? Especially in the beginning of our businesses when people are kind of looking at what we're doing and we kind of want to prove something, right? We kind of have a chip on our shoulder and we want to be able to say, yes, this is working. This is working immediately, right? We're very focused on that short game. And what I remind my students all the time is to be focused on the long game in entrepreneurship, in sticking to something and trying it a bunch of different ways. So something I do a lot with my students, specifically in my mastermind, Magic Mind, is we run experiments. We see what is working for specific audiences and we test it and we try it. But here's the caveat that I want you to pay attention to is I'm not just having them run experiments in changing things up, switching things up, trying new things all the time, every day, forever. I'm having them stick to specific things and then shift some of the variables within that thing. So for example, we're not changing your offer every other week. We're sticking to an offer that works, that you've decided on, that you've committed to, right? So that also means committing to the content, committing to the way that you're marketing and or the things that you're marketing, right? Like the topics, the marketing topics. But what you are experimenting is how you're talking about it. How are you writing your copy? How are you showing up? How are you inviting people in? How are you converting your following? How are you converting your aligned clients? What are some things you're trying that you haven't tried before? What is a way in launching that is grabbing the attention of your people, that is working, that maybe is something you haven't tried in the past, or something that hasn't worked in the past and you're trying it in a different way this time, right? So experimentation isn't just experimenting for the sake of experimentation, just for the sake of like, okay, well, I'll try this and this and this and this and this and this. It's being intentional and having discernment on what you're sticking to and what you're staying loyal to. In this example, it's your offer. And then what you're experimenting is ways of talking about your offer, ways of drawing people into your offer, ways of launching your offer, different ways of selling your offer, different ways of experimenting with maybe the process, the planning, the dates, the content, right? There can be so many things that you do experiment with, but you stick with one main thing. Okay? So it's being loyal to what you want to be loyal to, experimenting with what you are kind of shaky on. And I find that a lot of people do this. They're changing their offer every other week, or they're changing the way that they're showing up, or they're changing that sales process because they don't have that full belief that they're actually going to sell it. So the thing they feel like they need to do is sell differently, change the offer, make it different, add something new to it, take something away from it. If it's their sales, right? If it's the way that they're showing up, they're doing a bunch of different things, constantly changing things up. Every single week, there's something new they're adding or something new they're trying. I see this a lot specifically within like the offer program where it's like, I need to add this. Oh, I need to take this module away. Or I need to add this component. If I added this component, then people would just buy it. Right? And that comes from not fully believing in yourself and not fully believing in your offer either. And there might be a part of it where you don't fully believe in your audience and your clients to actually buy the thing. Right? And so because we don't have that belief, we end up trying to change all these different things in order to get people to say yes, when in reality, we're needing to say yes to ourselves. We're needing to say yes to our own offer. I've given this metaphor before, but I feel like it works so well, right? So imagine that you're cooking a pot of soup. It's this big thing of soup that you're cooking for, I don't know, your whole family, right? So you're cooking the soup, you are putting different things in it, and you have a specific taste in terms of how you want it to end up. Like say it's your grandma's recipe or someone that you love's recipe, and you're trying to replicate it. So you're throwing in these things that you know should be in there, and then you're taste testing it. And you want it to turn into that taste immediately. Like you want it to taste the way it tastes in your head, the way you remember it, but you're taste testing it like every 5 minutes. And then you throw in something new. And then you're like, no, I should add carrots. No, I should add spices. No, I need to add more veggies. I need to add this. So you keep throwing things into the pot, hoping it's going to end up tasting the way that you remember it tasting. But you're not letting it simmer and marinate and just soak. Sometimes a soup, or if you're cooking meats or something like that, it just needs to soak. It just needs time. There's nothing wrong with it. You don't need to add any spices. You don't need to add any veggies to it. You don't need to do anything to it. You just need to let it sit and soak, right? Sometimes our healing process is like that. We don't need to add more things. We don't need more therapy sessions. We don't need to do more breath work or more meditation. We just need to sit with our emotions. And we're like soup, right? We just need to sit with ourselves. So sometimes that soup just needs to sit. I think of the caterpillar turning into a butterfly. There's nothing more it needs to do. It just needs to cocoon, right? It's not like it has this whole 5-step process of all the things it needs to do and take action on. In fact, inaction is exactly what the caterpillar needs in order to turn into the butterfly, right? It needs to be in that inaction. There is just so much underratedness, that's not a word, around sitting and soaking. We as humans need to sit and soak to heal. Soup needs to sit and soak in order to taste really good. Yeah, Marika said chili and curry is always better the next day. Exactly. Why? Because it's been sat in, it's soaked up, it's marinated, right? So what I see a lot of us doing is in the beginning, we're putting something out there, it's not working. We're not getting the result we want. We throw more things in, we change more things up. We kind of get a little graspy, a little worried, a little frantic. Right? But if we just let it sit, if we just allowed it to just be, if we allowed it to just be what it is, continue to create repetition, right? Talk about it, let people know what it is, but let the offer be what it's meant to be rather than changing it up all the time. People are going to taste that thing for what it's meant to taste like, just like the soup. Right? It just needed to sit. It just needed time. It didn't need anything else. It just needed time. You needed to believe in the soup, just like you need to believe in your offer. Right? And when you believe in that offer, when you fully believe in the magic and the spirit of your offer, the spirit of your business and yourself and your people, it creates this incredible concoction that is inevitable. The success is inevitable at that point, because you are then so aligned to everything that you're talking about and sharing, and you allow yourself to embrace what you've stuck with, right? So you experiment with what you need to experiment with, but you stick to what's working. You stick to what you have chosen to commit to. Because otherwise, how do you know? How do you have an accurate representation and result of what's working and what isn't working if you don't stick with it long enough to actually see it through, right? It's like the same thing in a dating relationship or even a friendship. Any connection you make with someone, like a week or two in, you're not going to get the whole scope of who someone is. You haven't even shared the whole scope of who you are in just 2 weeks, right? It takes time to build a relationship with someone and build an intimate connection with someone, right? I'm sure your friends and even partner are still discovering incredible things about you every single day. So if 2 weeks in, you're thinking, I don't know if this is my person. We've gone on a few dates, but I don't really know. I'm not sure. I don't have that certainty. Of course you don't. It's 2 weeks in, right? Like it's in the very introductory stages. And it's not like you need to do more. It's just a matter of waiting, giving it time, allowing yourself to be patient, allowing it to reveal itself to you over and over and over again through time, through patience, right? You don't jump ship right away because you don't experience the thing that you want. You stick it out enough to see, is this what I'm looking for in a person? Is this what I'm looking for in a relationship, right? So it's the same thing with your business. You're going to stick with your offer and you're going to stick with what works. It doesn't mean that you stick with it forever, right? You want to be able to check in. You want to be able to sit with the spirit of your offer and see, okay, and how are you doing, right? Like I have conversations with the spirit of my offers all the time. Like I'm sitting face to face with it. I just ask, like, how are you feeling? Do you need anything, right? Is there something I can do? Is there something I can bring to this relationship with my offer? Because I do see it as a relationship that I'm building with my business and with my specific offers. I have 2 main ones I'm selling right now. This is my foundational course, which is Business Activation Academy. And then I have my more advanced room for people who are growing into 6 figures, which is my Magic Mind Mastermind. So when I'm focusing on, these 2 main things, I sit with consistently the spirit of these offers to see, is there something new I want to bring to this community this month? Or if I'm in launch, is there a conversation that I need to have with my offer in order to really bring it to life? Because I see myself as that physical vessel that is here to bring things into the physical reality, right? So my offer is a spiritual entity and it speaks to me in different ways. And the more I listen to it and the more I connect with it and the more I make room for it, the more I allow myself to be guided by my offer. Right? So that's how I see things in a more zoomed out sense. And I think that's why it's really important to stick to what's working in your business in order to get to 6 figures. And honestly, even like 200K, 300K, you can really stick to what's working those first couple multi-6 figures before you start shifting things up or changing your business plan or changing your business model. Unless something is severely not working and you're severely unhappy, you should be able to stick to what you're doing and commit to it and keep it really simple and make multi-6 figures. It doesn't need to be a huge complicated thing that you design, right? It doesn't need to be fancy and overcomplicated. Sticking to what works is what is going to help you create the results that you want. And it's also going to help you troubleshoot to get the results that you want, right? So if you're sticking to something and you are really selling yourself on it, because the thing is, it's not it rarely ever has anything to do with the offer. Like our mind immediately goes to, I need to change the offer, right? Because we're like, oh, I need to create something that people are going to buy or something that is quote unquote profitable. But it very rarely has anything to do with the offer. People love to buy coaching. And when you're sold on it, people are sold on it, right? So most of the time, it has to do with our thoughts about the offer or the thoughts that we have about showing up, but not actually the offer itself. The offer is probably fine. It's just the way we think about the offer, and more specifically, the things we think we have to do or the things we feel like we have to change in order to sell the offer, right? Like we need to spend more money. We need to do more things. We need to, fix something. We need to hire someone to do something along those lines where we need to kind of get in and fix versus fixing our mindset around it, which I think is one of the biggest keys in selling offers, in growing your business to 6 figures and multi 6 figures is fixing your mindset first rather than hiring someone to fix or actually attempting to fix in the back end something that has to do with your offer, your product, etc. Okay. So like I said, I do a lot of experimentation with my clients, specifically in my mastermind. And what I have them identify is, what are you deciding to stick to? What are the things that you're sticking to, that you're committing to? And then what are the things that you are experimenting on? So what you're sticking to are things that you're selling yourself on, you are committing to, you are committed to what has come to you. Typically, this is something that you've downloaded, you've channeled, you've connected to. This is your magic. This is your purpose. This is your offer. This is what you're selling, right? Maybe it's how you're selling it, but you're sticking to that thing. You're committing to it and you're selling yourself on it. That is the thing that you're sticking to. And then once you have that, then you have to decide, what are you experimenting on? These are the things that are a little bit more shaky, a little bit more like a little less clarity. So you want to gain clarity through the experimentation, right? That's what I do with my clients. That's a lot of what we do in Magic Mind. It's just a lot of experimentation. It's a lot of commitment, but it's also a lot of experimentation. And knowing when and where to do that in your business is key. It's like someone coming in and knowing what like pipe to fix or which like cord to cut, right? It's like you're not paying them $100 to cut a cord. You're paying them $100 to come in because they know exactly what pipe is connected to what that is making the water spray everywhere. Or they know which cord to fix because something's not working in your power system, right? They know what that is. And that's what you're paying for when you're paying someone to come and fix something in your home. So it's the same thing. It's like figuring out what to experiment on, what to stick to, what to commit to in your business is so, so, so powerful. And that's what we do inside the mastermind. And yeah, I wanted to share this with you all because I think it's so important. It gives you something to think about, something to marinate on in your business, especially if you're going to 6 figures. These are some questions to answer for yourself, or even to journal on, or to meditate on, or spend some time with the spirit of your business and really ask yourself, what am I experimenting on this month or this quarter or this year? What am I sticking to? What am I committing to? And I'm not budging on this for at least 3 months or something, right? That's just an example. There's no cold, hard way to do this, of course. It's just being intentional with what you're doing, how you're doing it in your business, and how you're evaluating how that's going. Right? Evaluation is such an important aspect in building your business, or else we're just going to keep doing the same things over and over and over, and expecting different results, right? Which is the definition of insanity, I believe. All right. I think that is pretty much it. Rachel asked, when you talk to the spirit of your business, do you do it in the moment or do you set aside a specific ritual or ceremony? I do both. If I feel really, really pulled to do something, I kind of just do it on a whim. So like if I just felt like I wanted a specific answer or a specific download for something, I would just tap in. I don't do anything other than just say, I might say something like, I'm now opening a channel to communicate with the spirit of my business. I set the intention that this is a protective channel. I'm only speaking to the spirit of my business. I might do a little bit of Reiki because I like to incorporate that in some of my channeling. And then I just open the space and I start talking out loud. Some of my students like to journal and do automatic writing and just write it out and just see what comes through. I actually like recording voice notes or just speaking out loud and just seeing what I hear. What are some other things I've done? Sometimes I will speak something out loud and ask for support on something specific, and I don't always hear something back right away. So what I say is, okay, please give me a little nudge or a sign of confirmation, or sometimes I'm just looking for reassurance, or sometimes I'm making a decision maybe to invest in a mentor or something specific, like super specific, where I'm like, can you please give me a sign that this is, the right whatever by the end of the day, or if I'm asking for support, I'm like, can you please send this to me? I am open, right? So even if it doesn't happen right away, sometimes it happens like a day later or 2 days later, or I feel something coming through, but it doesn't channel all at once. Like sometimes I channel, I'll channel my offers that way, and I'm just open to receiving it. And then it's like 3 a.m. in the middle of the night, and I'm like writing out pages and pages and pages of a whole new offer that decided to download in the middle of the night. Always happens in the middle of the night for some reason for me. So yeah, I like to just open that channel of communication, and then you decide how you want to communicate with the spirit of your business. There's no wrong way to do it. Something I do for my students inside Business Activation Academy, I'm about to jump on the call right now, is Oracle and Sip Night. So I have all my Oracle cards out, and I help them to essentially be a guide to the spirit of their business. And I pull cards, and I essentially help them really channel like messages from their businesses, the spirit of their businesses, and see what their business wants to say to them, or if there's like some specific message, if there's specific confirmation, things like that, which is always really fun too. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. All right, so I think that's what I'm going to leave you all with today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this really encourages you to think about, what am I experimenting with in my business? What am I trying out? And what am I sticking to? What am I going to be loyal to? What have I kept kind of going back and forth on that I really want to ground down and be serious about evaluating? What has been shaky that I really want to ground and see how this is working and really do a true evaluation of. Okay? Alrighty. I love you all, and I will catch you all later. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe. If this episode resonated with you, please take a screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories, and tag me at tiffanychung.co. I truly appreciate interacting with every one of you. Catch you all on the next one.